Welcome, you guys. I'm so glad to be here. Happy Friday. It's always fun to be able to get Han here on a Friday night. My son will be doing open gym at the local gymnastics arena tonight. So that'll be super fun. So he's going to go over there at 7. But I wanted to get on here today and give you guys a fun class, something that I haven't discussed in the past. So I figured we would do one tonight and then another cool class tomorrow. So I've been in Utah all week in meetings back to back with corporate. And so my voice is a little bit raw. So I'm going to probably be clearing my throat just from talking like all day and then all hours of the night with my team, my upline who reached Royal Crown Diamond, which is super exciting. So this should be a fun class for you guys tonight just because it's something a little different. And then tomorrow's class is going to be even better, in my opinion. So I'm teaching on something that I haven't, I'm teaching on something specific, but you got in just a different way. I always love doing things a little bit different. So, all right, you guys ready to get started? I love all this stuff. So tonight we're going to talk about lectins. And I would love for you guys, before we get started, because many of you are from different teams and are in different situations. I would love team shout outs. I love hearing that. I'd love to know maybe if you know what lectins are. Some of you guys can maybe post about that, or things that you tend to stay away from that you've learned what lectins are, right? So tell us where you're from maybe, or what team you're on, just so that I can see who's on here. It's always fun for team shout outs, and it's all good to do that. All right, so let's begin. So we're gonna get really deep into lectins as much as possible. And why I say as much as possible is because it's a fairly new field of study for me. While I'm really very well versed on wheat and what that does, the celiac disease, all of that, I've recently been studying lectins and found out that wheat is a major lectin. So all of this is starting to make sense to me, and it's fascinating when you learn new things and get involved in things where you can know better, right? So the more you know, the better you can do. So we always joke like know better, do better, and then that's going to help me be better, right? I want to be healthier. I want to be better. This will be hard for many of you because lectins are in a lot of staple foods, and I want to help you understand what lectins are, and then move forward into some really, really amazing solutions. So wouldn't it be great if you could eat your lectins and have a solution? So it's like eating having your cake and eating it too. So what are lectins? And this is where it's just simple, right? Simple understanding of plants and how they need to have a defense mechanism for themselves so that plant animals, i.e. humans and bugs, won't devour them, right? And so it's that bitter taste usually in their seeds or on their surface. So oftentimes found in the skin of certain vegetables and fruits. And so that's where it becomes interesting, because there are some things that are like lectins, meaning they have the same reasoning behind them. So many of you guys are familiar maybe with maybe you have an autoimmune disorder and you've heard everybody talk about nightshades and how you have to stay away from nightshades. And one of the things in a nightshade is solanine. And solanine, it's not a lectin, but it's like a lectin. And what I mean by that is it's this substance in things like tomatoes or eggplant that is a toxin. It helps the plant to live, meaning it helps it from getting eaten. And so that is what a lectin is. So just to give you like the definition of a lectin, lectins are basically the naturally occurring proteins that are found in most plants. So most plants have them, but some foods specifically contain higher amounts of lectins, like beans. Red kidney beans are some of the worst offenders. Peanuts, lentils, things like potatoes, tomatoes are another one. Wheat is a big one. Like I said, eggplant and certain fruits and many other grains. So what's fascinating to me is that, fine, we eat lectins. Our ancestors have eaten lectins forever, right? This has never been really too big of an issue. But I think it comes down to how we're processing our foods, how we're growing them, and also the genetic modification of them, right? You look at wheat, and I have no problem when I go to Italy. I can eat wheat all day long because they haven't genetically modified it. Now, you might say, well, wait a minute, Jen. Wheat isn't technically genetically modified. Yes, it is. It has been messed with and made to grow faster and stronger so that they can get multiple harvests in 1 year and more out of it. So it has been modified, maybe not genetically engineered, but in some cases it has, right? So the DNA is completely different when it comes to wheat. So, I mean, it becomes this issue of process versus maybe eating too much of it, right? A typical Western diet, we are eating way too much of certain foods, specifically wheat. So I went back and forth thinking like, okay, wheat has lectins in it, but why is it one of the largest offenders? I've even read articles where certain people are saying this whole lectin thing is a joke, right? And I think that through, right? You think, well, I should be able to eat tomatoes. Tomatoes have beautiful things in it that I need. Well, we overeat tomatoes, right? We eat way too many tomatoes. We have all sorts of problems with over consuming certain things. And remember, our tomatoes are different. So the tomatoes we are eating today are not what your great grandparents ate. So this is something that we have to remember. I mean, I remember reading a study where, not a study, but an actual article where they were talking about how, you know, I'm not going to name names of companies, but major fast food restaurant chains were trying to genetically engineer tomatoes so that they were denser, so that when you cut into them, there wasn't all that hollow space with the seeds in the water. They wanted it to be more meat. So they genetically engineered it. I actually had a friend in college who was an intern who was working on that very project, and they had a whole article out about it. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's crazy. So when we start to understand the background of the plants, generally want to save themselves, survival of the fittest type of thing. But the fact that we do tend to eat lots of potatoes, lots of tomato sauce and tomatoes, and we tend to eat lots of peanuts and peanut butter, and lots and lots and lots of wheat. And those are just a few. Every single plant has lectins in them. It's a matter of certain plants that have more. So when you start to think, okay, I typically am achy, and I can break it down to, okay, corn, right? Corn is very inflammatory. Wheat is very inflammatory. All of these things that I might be over consuming. I used to eat tomatoes like crazy, and I don't anymore. But when I notice inflammation in my body where my hips hurt, or I can feel like a throbbing inside in the joint, it's really a funky feeling. Or how many of you guys have a problem like getting up from the toilet? I mean, I was joking with my husband today that sometimes my joints are so stiff that I'm like holding on to everything just to get myself up. And I'm like, I'm too young for this. This shouldn't be. And I'm very sensitive to wheat, but I'm also realizing that wheat is just one of the offenders. And I think, man, like this is so frustrating because I feel like at some point there's nothing you can eat. And I like to eat. There's lots of foods I like to eat, and like what do I do? And they even have come out with studies showing that brown rice is worse for you than white rice when it comes to inflammation. So while we've all learned that brown rice, whole grain rice, stuff like that is better for you from a nutritional standpoint, when it comes to inflammation in your body, it's worse. And the point of this is that you can cook away some of the lectins. You can pressure cook things. You can cook things just by boiling them, and it helps remove the lectins. Also, the way things are processed, there's a lot of different ways to enjoy food so that you don't have that lectin count in there. But when I look at it, I think, honestly, as much as it gets boiled out or whatever, I always am eating things that will cause me to have an inflamed body. My mom suffers from rheumatoid arthritis. I do not want to go down that path. Every time I have joint pain, I'm like, oh, is it double-sided? Like, is it the same on both sides? And I'm like, okay, no, it's not. That's good. But I can feel things. Like, I can feel like, okay, did I stub my finger, or is that arthritic pain, right? And that's frustrating for me as a 45-year-old because, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, my joints are achy, and I don't like feeling that. And what's interesting to me is two things. One, when I fully clean up my diet and I'm eating grain-free, guess what? I don't hurt anymore. Imagine that. But I'm too much of a pain in the butt because I like food and I like to be able to splurge, right? And I know I was reading a book on a doctor who's writing about this, and his thought to his patients were, do you want to die or do you want to live? And I'm thinking that's a little aggressive, but I feel like, okay, should I be able to eat a pizza and then deal with the consequences for the next couple days? Like, that's my choice as a human, right? Okay. How many of you guys would like to have a solution to this? And I've had friends who are grain-free really like forcefully warn me to not teach these things because it's giving people a license to eat bad food, and eventually it can damage your gut. Okay, I get that. And all of my studies have shown that if you support your gut, if you support your digestive system, what you're doing is you're shielding these lectins from being able to leak into your gut and cause problems. That's the key. Okay. So there are supplements that you can use that specifically help inflammation, right? And a lot of you guys know this. We talked about them, Agiles and BLM, and there's sulfurzyme that you can get into. And all that's doing is really masking the problem, right? It's really helping support inflammation, but you're still getting those horrendous lectins into your gut. So what I want to propose is hitting them from all sides, right? We want to support our joints with MSM and turmeric, right? We want to do these things, but we also want to support our digestive system to help with the enzymes to help them from getting into your gut. And then you also want to support your gut to help your gut be strong, right? So it's sort of a three-pronged approach rather than just, and again, from a doctor's perspective, they'll say they want to treat the symptoms. I'm not interested in that. Are you? Like, do you guys want to only treat the symptoms? Like, if you have an achy back, would you just like to put some topical cream on there and then just have the pain come back, and then you put the topical cream on, and then you have the pain come back, and then you start developing some weird rash because of the cream, right? I mean, this is the problem, that it's these side effects from these things that our doctors are giving to us. So my question to you is, are you okay with being a lab rat? I'm not. So what I would rather do is, yes, use certain products that are going to help the symptoms, right? And I know I'm not a doctor, I'm not a doctor, but we're going to teach a little bit in this method so that you understand how important it is for you to consider using certain things that are going to help some of the symptoms. And we get that. And these things aren't meant to treat anything. What they are is they're helpful to your joints. They're helpful to your mobility. And these are all things that we're allowed to say. And so many people find great success. I, for one, and you guys have heard me teach this over and over again, I, for one, have been a huge fan of Agiles, right? It's this little orangey, because of the turmeric, pill that helps support your joints and muscles and ligaments and all good stuff, right? So Agiles is super important for me because I'm able to use it even if I'm inflamed. So it's going to help with all of that. It's going to help me feel better. Same with sulfurzyme. So sulfurzyme is something that a lot of you guys take and love and use. But what I want to propose to you guys is that we're supporting several systems to help your body process through lectins. Okay. And again, I'm not giving you a license to eat them, but I do. And I have great success removing the response. That's what I want. I want to almost coat my system so that when those nasty lectins, again, remember, lectins are toxins that get into your body that are not digestible. Your body doesn't really know what to do with them. So what they do is they creep into the lining of your gut, they're literally triggering all sorts of bad responses, like all sorts of bad responses. I'm not even just talking only about joints. I'm talking about skin issues and rashes, nausea feeling, foggy brain. The list goes on and on when you start to understand the magnitude of what we're talking about here. So my goal is to keep the lectins from getting in, right? Okay. So we can do this with very simple use of digestive enzymes, and specifically digestive enzymes that are designed to help with lectins, right? To help with these toxins and help digest them properly. So what I use, so I'm going to show you what I do. And everyone's a little bit different, but I use Allerzyme and Essential Zymes 4. These are two products that are specific enzymes that help with what I'm dealing with here, with these undigestible lectins and bad things going into my body. So I take both of these at both of my main meals. I usually don't eat too much of a breakfast, so I do this lunch and dinner. And again, depending on what I'm eating, right? I pay pretty close attention to what I'm eating, but if I'm going out to dinner or out to lunch, those are with me, right? So I take those both before my meal. And then what I'm doing also, though, and this is important, is I'm drinking Ninja Red, which has a prebiotic in it, helps support gut flora. I usually take Mighty Pro in the morning, but always Life 9 at night, right? So I've got this Life 9, and this is helping feed. So is Sulfurzyme, right? So these are some products that I use to help support all of this. But Sulfurzyme specifically is helpful not only for my hair, skin, and nails, which I want them to look good, but it's also helpful for your joints, right? We know that MSM is huge for that. But I want to add the Ninja Red daily because I need to also support my immune system. Now, while I'm talking about your gut health, your digestive system, lectins, your joints, we have to remember that if your immune system is off, everything is off. So wolfberries are in this. And remember, we talked about nightshades, and that has that solanine in it. So this doesn't have that because this specifically is processed to support antioxidants, right? So it's going to support the antioxidative stress, like oxidative stress. So that said that wrong, but you get what I mean. This supports oxidation. It's going to kill and get after and attack oxidative stress. So this is a high antioxidant. And that's something where I like to drink lots of water, right? We know that for our gut health. And I've got some Ninja Red here, and I've showed you guys this before. This is a kind of a dumbed down version of Dr. Minky's drink, but just put some water. And he says use the bottle, but I always chip my tooth. I'm always like trying to go after it too fast. So I'm just going to pour some Ninja in here and stir that up, right? It makes for a beautiful, yummy drink. You can actually put a Mighty Pro in that. It sweetens it up and helps with your gut health, helps with your prebiotics and your probiotics. So that's a very powerful way to start a morning drink, is just dump a Mighty Pro in there as well. And then you're going to use a half a teaspoon of Sulfurzyme. So that's what I got right here. I'm going to dump that in there. And I've got my trusty metal straw. So I'm going to stir this up. And this makes for a really, really great drink. And you can put any, like Dr. Minky says, put lime oil in there, which supports your liver. And that's specifically what that protocol he's doing. But you can put anything in here. So I often will put like peppermint, vitality, like maybe 1 drop, and maybe a drop of tangerine. But sometimes I just drink it like this. And sometimes I also put Ninja Nitro in, a whole tube of Ninja Nitro, because that also supports my gut health, but also supports my immune system and my energy levels. Okay, so we're sort of attacking a few things here. We're getting your gut health and your joint health and your immune system in one drink. And then during meals, you're going to use Allerzyme and Essential Zymes 4. And then sometime during the day, you're going to take 1 or 2 Agile E's. And then before you go to bed, you're going to take Life 9. Okay, so what I'm supporting here, like I said, is I'm kind of slicking up my walls to keep the lectins out, right? We're kind of closing the door, if you will. So what I want is the good stuff to get into my gut and my colon and all of that, right? We want your intestines to be really powerfully supported with good bacteria, but all those bad things, all the bad things that would get through, i.e. lectins, we want to keep them out. And so building up good bacteria and then giving digestive enzymes an extra support, even though our bodies make digestive enzymes, this is going to help in a big way. So all this to say, what I want to do with you is help you get a handle on all of this. So if you are watching me here and you found me from a friend, I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to get, and they can get this set up for you. For me though, if you are somebody who found me on your own and you would like to get this stuff, I've created a package, and the package deal is only good with somebody who's already a member. So you need to use their member number so that you can get the best discount. And so what I do is I set you up with a really good, ready to go, this is going to last you about 2 months regimen. So what I want to help you understand though is that this is $830 worth of stuff. And I know that sounds a lot, right? You think, oh my gosh, who can afford that? Okay, so what I want to do is give you a bunch of Ninja Red. Okay, you're going to start with Ninja Red, Ninja Nitro, which you're going to thank me for tremendously. And then that's going to be about a 2-month supply, if not longer for you. And then I'm going to set you up with some essential zymes for some Allerzyme, some Sulfurzyme, Agile Ease, and Life 9. Okay, so just so that you're aware. Plus a mess load of other free products and samples, right? So I'm actually going to give you a bunch of extra stuff. Plus, I'm going to give you every single one of my books. Now, if you are working with somebody else, they can't give you every single one of my books. I'm an author. We're allowed to give as many readable materials away as we want. So you get all of my books. You get the entire 8-book bundle. So you're getting $830 worth of stuff. And what I'm going to do for you is get that down to $380. So if you can afford $380, you can break that up to in 6 payments over 6 months if you want to. So we have a payment option plan. And I know many of you guys are like, I want this. I'm going to tell you right now, these, some of my all-time favorite supplements, and they've changed my life, right? Absolutely changed my life. So I just encourage you guys to consider, is it worth hobbling around? Is it worth saying no to things because you can't? Right? I think that's the problem when you start looking at, being able to pick up your grandchild or being able to pick up your own child, right? Being able to run with your kids or go river rafting or go rock climbing. I mean, these things that possibly you were able to do in the past that it's just you're not able to do anymore. So my goal is to literally set you up and then teach you exactly how to do all of this. I'm going to walk you through once you get everything. We're going to talk on the phone, or we would do a Zoom call so we can see each other and I can show you what to do. And you're also going to get a couple extra essential oils in there to help kind of get you started. And I would be honored and thrilled to get you started. So if you want to start with me, you would just go to youngliving.com and put in my member number, which is 946916. You can also email me at jen@jenosullivan.com, because a package like this, really, I need to walk you through. And this is a beautiful starter package. And then next month, after you get this order, we're going to work on making sure that which ones were working for you. How do you feel? We're going to move forward 1 month at a time, and I'm going to support you for an entire year. Can you imagine that? Like an entire year, you're going to get to work personally one-on-one with me. And it's super exciting. I love doing this with my customers. And remember, if you have a friend that has showed you this video or is asking you to watch this because it's fun for them to teach you this stuff as well and have me teach you, make sure you go with them, okay? Don't be coming over to me and saying that, you want to go with me. Your person can totally help you. Anybody on here that's a distributor should know how to set this up. Okay, so all of this, other than my own books, because that's, like I said, I'm the author, they can get this order going for you, and it will be a little bit less value because of the books, but you're going to get quite a big deal. It's over $700 worth of stuff for $380. For me, it's $830 worth of stuff for $380 plus tax and shipping. But I will tell you, it's amazing and you're going to love it. Okay, so they can offer you some extra goodies as well. So each distributor can give up to $25 in freebies. I don't typically do that, you guys. I give away resources because I feel like that's a little bit better for us. And as distributors, it's awesome because we get to give away as many paper resources as we want. So super fun. And I hope that I see as many of you as possible getting in on this deal. My book offer will last through the end of September. So you've got 4 days to get on this. So if you want to get in on this, message me right away. Okay. And then I'll give you my personal cell phone number and we'll be able to connect that way. So I can't wait to see what questions you guys have. And I look forward to teaching you all more. All right, we'll see you guys later. Take care. Bye. All right, and I'm on Studio Live here on YouTube. So because I can never catch these questions, I'm going to read them real quick. I love that it's got somebody from Pennsylvania, New York City. Glad that you're here, Sonia, live. I love it. Yay, Lemon Dropper from Nova Scotia. So Sonia, I'm wondering if you're going to come to the Moncton thing. I'm a lemon dropper as well and we're going to be in Moncton, which is right near Nova Scotia. So hopefully, and that's going to be the rally in Canada. So maybe I'll see you there. Yep. The Plant Paradox, Sonia was talking about. That's a good book to read for sure. Let's see. I know Jessica's like, I don't even know what to eat anymore. I feel you. It's rough. Inflammation, what a great topic. It's debilitating in so many ways. And yeah, I feel like if we all got rid of it, I think, yeah, a huge medical sector would evaporate, like you said, but I feel like we'd all get a lot more done, right? So I love it. Yes, so I don't know what that means. Oh, when am I in Moncton? November 2nd. And by the way, you people from Canada, I've never been to Canada before, and I have a brand new version of Vitality for Canadians, and I have a brand new little fun flyer for you guys that'll be, you'll be like, yay, finally some printed materials. So all right, y'all, so I can't wait to see you, and thanks for hanging out with me on YouTube. I mean, we've got not that many people, but I'm actually surprised. I've got 16 people on live. YouTube is a brand new platform for me, so I figured I'd say hello to you guys on here as well. So you're welcome, Patty. All right, so take care and be blessed. And oh, you're presenting at a rally. Oh, very cool. Well, yes, it is a rally. So it's the November 2nd rally in Moncton that I'm teaching at. So that's where I will be. So maybe you're at the same one. Who knows? All right. I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.